Hey guys, Lytane here, and I'm feeling some intense emotions. Oh my god, it looks like it's manifesting into a game! Wow, well I guess I now have to see if Blue Reflection is worth it. Blue Reflection was released in 2017, made by Gust, who were most well known for their Atelier series of games, many of which are very fun and quirky. One day I'm gonna have to talk about them, but yeah, with my kind of backlog, it'll never happen. But forget all of that because Blue Reflection is a new and original IP, except some of the style and quirkiness does carry over from the Atelier series, so you can definitely tell it's made by Gust. In this game, you play as Himiko, who is coming back to school after a long leave of absence. She was an amazing ballet prodigy, but due to overwork, she suffered a knee injury. Now depressed, she struggles with questions of her self-worth, like who is she now that she can't dance? But it's not all sad as she discovers that she can now resonate with other people's emotions. She can even enter them when their feelings become really intense or rampant. In these emotional worlds, she can help calm and stabilize these people. But where do these powers come from and what do they mean for her? Well, it does come with a magical girl transformation, so that makes everything better. So let's see if this is a good reflection of Gust, or maybe they ran rampant with this one. Blue Reflection is a JRPG set in an original universe. The story falls into the magical girl category from anime and manga. These typically tell the story of a normal girl that can transform and has access to magic. Two of the biggest shows that I can think of with this style are Cardcaptors and, of course, Sailor Moon. So if that's not your cup of tea, you may already want to give this one a skip, but I assure you there is more here than meets the eye. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this world and the characters. The game world you will be exploring is broken into two parts. The first is the school environment, where you can wander around the halls, talk to various NPCs, and pick up side quests. It's a fairly big area with lots of different floors, but they kinda look all the same, just a school. But that's okay, if you do ever get lost, you can just bring up your map and you can get around pretty quickly. Except if you have to find somebody in a large room. Teleporting here always puts you in the same spot, but you don't know where the person you're supposed to talk to is, so you just gotta wander around. When trying to find a quest here, it can be a little bit annoying if you have to walk to the full other side of the room, because Himiko is pretty slow at walking due to the fact that she has her knee issue. This is also where you'll be hanging out with the various characters. After a story chapter is done, you'll have a new friend that you can spend some time with. Doing so unlocks new equipables and even levels up your character. You can hang out with them and any other character you've unlocked so far as much as you want to. There are no limits here like the Persona series. For some reason, the school year here just doesn't end. You can have like 400 days of summer or something. It's really silly. But you can't power level like crazy though, because your friends will hit a limit where you can't continue their story until you have done more story beats, or main story beats, in the game. It also makes sense as some of the later social events will reference other parts of the game, so they don't want to spoil you. All of the main characters are interesting and have fun quirks, like Rika being so normal and average it literally defines her, or Chiaki being so introverted she doesn't even defend herself when accused of stealing in case it hurts the actual thieves' feelings. I like them all to a certain degree, and learning more about them by spending time with them was great. The time spent was never very long either, which helped keep the pace of the story up. I also liked how they show you each of these characters' flaws in order to make them much more real. It's not all rainbows and sunshine here. These flaws even manifest in chaotic and rampant emotions, such as being so sad or so angry at something, and when these feelings become too much, that's when we have to go in and fix it. This is the second part of the game, exploring the common, which is the nexus of all emotion. These manifest as a set of worlds that are ruled by a particular emotion: happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. Each is visually distinct, and later in the story you can even explore areas where they are next to each other, resulting in a fusion of the two feelings, such as happy, fear, and it looks like that. It is in the common that we finally become a magical girl, and with that power our knee is healed. Woo! This results in ballet attacks, jumping, and the most important part, running. Yay, we can finally move a bit faster. But as you may have noticed on the screen, there are a couple of bad emotions around, which they call demons, and they like to hang out in the common. Touching one of these will trigger a fight, and you can also avoid them if you so desire. So fighting in this game has you control Himiko, Yuzu, and Lime, and those are our only 3 reflectors. Each has their own moves and specialties. You just choose an attack, select a move, choose your target, and away it goes. At the top is your battle queue. Reach the middle and it is your turn. Heroes on the left left, villains on the right. Each moves at a different amount of time, so the bigger moves tend to push you further back, so it's a little bit of risk reward. The whole system is just alright. Nothing overly special here, but it does work. Moves have an element as well which are strong to or weak to another, and while they offer a little bit more depth in the battle system, you will learn many powerful techniques early on that you'll just spam throughout the entire game. That makes the combat not very challenging, and I made sure not to power level in this game because I thought it would make it a bit harder, and nah, not really. After each fight, you are brought up to full HP and MP, so these long dungeons are more of a chore than a challenge. The craziest part is that enemies do not give any experience. You only level up with friendship, and clearly these demons aren't my friends. The only reason why you would fight them is that they do drop items which are required for crafting. I barely use this system because, why bother with items when I'm already dominating every fight? I only really did this for the achievements, which, look at that platinum, baby. The bosses though, they are a step up. These are gruesome compared to the rest of the game for some really odd reason. These are true demons. For story reasons, they want to destroy our school, so, we can't have that. We've got to reflect them. These bosses have multiple phases, lots of limbs to hit which regenerate, and they hit pretty hard. This is easily the best part of the fighting system as it's a real challenge. During these fights, you can also have the other girls that you've met help you out with their special moves and buffs. These girls can be equipped before the fight, and they all do something different, so I like that. I think it's a really cool idea to use humans as equipment. More games should do that. One thing I liked about the game is when you level up, you are given some points to spend on the stats that you want. If you want more health, then just put it there. Do you want more strength? Then go for it. Getting to a certain milestone will also give you a new move to use, so you can always see on the list on the side what stats you will need to get that new move. That means you can build your character in pretty much any style that suits you, or whichever moves you need in that moment. Lastly, each move can be upgraded with equipment. These have all different effects, like increased healing, a different attack, or maybe even adding an effect. You'll get plenty of them, and it pays to play around with your abilities and item combinations to get the most out of your battle techniques. Still, only really useful for the bosses, but it is good to see how the moves work on the regular enemies, so you know your build is good. And that's the gameplay loop. Let's play some story, play some side quests, dive into the common to sort out the feelings, and then fight a boss. The overall story is easy enough to follow and provides a good backdrop and motivation to you. There are a few plot inconsistencies for sure, and I had a few questions by the end, but they didn't detract from the story. I may not have quite liked how it all ended, but yeah, props to the game for doing what it did. Accompanying all of this is the music and graphics. The game just looks, alright. Nothing special, and I wasn't super impressed with the transformation sequences or the enemies. But the common looks pretty cool. Even if I don't like how fear walkways kind of blend into each other, it's a great place to look at. I also mentioned how crazy those bosses look, like out of this world. Somebody was having some kind of fever dream when they drew these up. But Gust, as usual, delivers with the music. It is fantastic. There are so many fun songs here with great battle music, great just lounging around music, great interaction music, just great music in general. And a lot of it is piano based, so I'm definitely biased. I like me a piano. Lastly, for some strange reason, this game is not available in Australia, so why does this keep happening to me? I picked up my copy from Facebook Marketplace on a whim, and it was really cheap as well, and I just saw the cover, saw the girl, saw the word Gust, and I was like, oh yeah, alright, sold, I'll buy it for, I think it was like $20 or $30, and now look at it, It's one of the better games that I bought, I guess. It honestly doesn't make sense to me how video game prices work. I know supply and demand and all that, but I don't know, there's not much demand for this game, is there? In my opinion, Blue Reflection is not worth it, mainly due to its lackluster battle system, and 90% of the time, it's pretty boring with very little stakes. The start is alright as you're learning the combat system, and the bosses are insanely fun, but it's just everything in between. There's no variety. The story, though, is decent. I liked all of the characters, I liked getting to know them, and I enjoyed how each of them had depth and growth over the span of the game. I swear, if this game was more of the visual novel and less emphasis on the fights, I would have enjoyed it probably a bit more. So if this story did pique your interest, then yeah, I would say give it a try. Become a magical girl for a day. A few years later, this game was also followed up with an anime, a sequel, and a mobile game, and I'll be trying to talk about at least 2 of those. I can't play the mobile game, it's in Japanese, so let's have a look at those over the coming weeks in October. So guys, tell me what you thought about Blue Reflection. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And who was your favorite girl and why? I liked Yuri for her inability to even be a human. She was just fun. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!